Okay, I just have one question. Where the hell would Spider-Man be in this situation? Like, come on. Like, there's no way when they're escaping, all the action's going on, and Kingpin, Daredevil saving the day. There's no way Spider-Man wouldn't do. Oh, wait, yeah. Sony. Hey guys, how is everybody doing? And tonight we got two episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and I will be talking about both episodes in this video. Now, I'm gonna kind of break it down into sections. So for the first majority of this episode, the first majority of this video, I'm going to be talking about episode 2, and then I will move on and give you my thoughts about episode 3. I'm not gonna put them together. That just doesn't sound right to me. I feel like just breaking them down, talking about them separately would be better. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you have not seen it yet, I did talk about the premiere of season 2 last week. I reviewed it pretty late because I have a lot going on. As you can see, I'm moving. I'm in another different area in my room. I found a good place to record. This is my movie shelf too. So perfect spot, right? So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the two new episodes, and if you haven't already, go and check out my video of me talking about the first episode of season 2. So with that all out of the way, here are my thoughts on episodes 2 and 3 of Daredevil Born Again season 2. So with that all out of the way, my thoughts on episode 2 of Daredevil Born Again season 2, titled "Shoon the Moon." Huh. So with this episode, we pick up right after the end of episode 1, where it gave us that cool cliffhanger of Bullseye actually saving Daredevil, aka Matthew. So at the end of episode 1, the AVTF guys, I think that's what their vests say, they kind of come in, they basically they're questioning this one dude that's friends with Daredevil, gets the shit beat out of him, has a heart attack, yada yada yada. Daredevil fights him, gets his ass kicked because he kind of loses focus, and then he gets his ass kicked. They take off his mask, find out it's him, and then at the end of that episode, Bullseye actually kills those guys so they don't like know who he is or whatever, and basically saves them. And at the end of that episode, we see a little knife or a little throwing knife that says "You're welcome" with his logo on it, and we pick up right after that happens, where we see the guy getting wheeled into an ambulance. We see him getting drove to the hospital, and Daredevil is completely fine, and he's holding that knife with wondering what he wants, and he goes to Karen, who's back in this season, to talk to her about that to see what he might possibly want and what he's aiming for. Now, these will include spoilers. I forgot to mention that in my video last time, so apologies for that. But these will include spoilers, so don't want to be spoiled, then I guess don't watch these. Uh, we don't really get to see Bullseye at all in the two episodes that we get this week, and I'm a little frustrated with that because I was hoping that we would get to see Daredevil and Bullseye team up in these two episodes, but I guess they're going to save that for later on in the show, which whatever creates suspense and atmosphere, I guess. But yeah, we don't really see much of Bullseye in this episode like I thought we would, or any of these episodes like I thought we would. We see him maybe show up maybe twice, maybe three times, if that, where we see him in a church after saving Matthew. He's standing like in a church and he's like asking for a certain sister, a certain nun. I forget her name. It's not Susan, but he's looking for a certain sister, but she's not there because she's on a, I don't know, an adventure in Rome basically. And it kind of builds up that he might kill this guy, but he doesn't, because then we go to the open credits, and then we see him again where he kills two of the ABTF guys, where he just like stabs him in the skull and then just like leaves, and then after that we don't see him again. So that's kind of a bummer that we didn't get to see Bullseye in these episodes, especially with that great cliffhanger at the end of episode 1. So yeah, that was a little disappointing, but I guess we'll just see. I guess I gotta be a man of patience, but I don't wanna. I want it now. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but it was cool to see that we get to see some Bullseye. That is for sure. I think that was really cool. So I do. I keep saying it, but I'm eager to see Bullseye again. I really like the guy that's portraying him does better than Colin Farrell. Don't know if that's a hot take or not. But it's just cool to see him come back. It's cool to see that he might have a bigger role and a more of an anti-hero like role. The actor himself has even come out and said that he wants to see Bullseye get his own Marvel special presentation like the Punisher is getting. So I'm all for it. I want to see where this season goes first, and if I like where it goes, then I'll be definitely all for it then. But I'm already all for it right now. So yeah, to see that he's in this for a little bit and to see a little bit of a payoff with that, it's interesting for sure. But I don't know. It was just kind of a bummer we didn't see him much. And then moving on from that, we kind of get this, we get this weird character movement with Karen, and she kind of hints at the idea of that maybe they should just start killing these guys, with the ABTF guys. Maybe we should do something about it. Maybe there's more that we can do. They give off the idea that maybe she wants to like start killing them. And seeing where the season's going and it kind of has this like cool like I forget what it reminds me of, but it has this like cool lockdown feel to it where they're hiding out or whatever. So she wants to resort to killing them. So I really like that. I really like the momentum and build on that. I don't even know if this was in episode 2, if I'm completely honest. Might have been in episode 3. I might be jumping the shark a little bit, but who cares? So I really like what they're doing there. It seems that they're trying to build on Karen and might kind of build up to where she might end up doing something later on. Maybe she does end up killing somebody. Who knows? So I don't know. I really like that's what they're doing. I really like the build on that. That is definitely interesting for sure, but we'll just see where that goes. And this this is like between both the episodes, I guess, but there's this weird thing about the one chick that's like the daughter or the niece of the one black reporter in the original Daredevil show that Kingpin kills. Like, I'm not here to threaten you. I'm here to kill you and strangle some. You know that guy, that iconic scene. His niece is in this show, which I don't know if I brought that up like ever. I don't know if I brought it up in season 1. I know I didn't bring it up in last week's episode. I don't know if I've ever brought that up, but she is in this show. But and there's this whole thing where they kind of keep it a secret. It's just like try to keep it a mystery. Like, oh, I wonder who's doing this. But they're doing this like weird gimmick thing with her putting on a plastic Fisk like a plastic Wilson mask and his suit or whatever, pretending to be him and mocking him, like, "Oh, I promised a safer New York, and I'm roaming the streets with these military men and taking out all the vigilantes." I can't talk like that. Jesus Christ. And they're doing this weird gimmick, and it was in last week's episode, and I thought it was going to be like a one-time thing, and then they moved past it, but no, it seems like it's going to happen every single episode. And I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's really weird that they're including it. It feels like they just have it there just for her to do something. And if I'm honest, I feel like there's a lot more you could do with her. I feel like there's a lot more interesting things and a lot more useful things she can be doing besides dressing up as Fisk and mocking him. And then they make it this whole ordeal basically of her mocking him and also kind of releasing information that isn't quite public. I'm as well. I'm pretty sure that's what they said earlier in the episode. So I don't really know why that's a thing, if I'm honest. And if I'm honest, I don't think I like it. If anything, it's kind of there for laughs. If you kind of took that out of the episode or this show just in general, which seems like it's going to be a running thing throughout the whole season, I honestly think it would play no factor. You could get rid of it and it wouldn't play any difference. Like, I don't really care for it right now. I'm not interested. I'm not bought into it whatsoever. Like, I'm just not into it right now. And maybe I'll grow on it, but then there's like a whole scene where the guy that's the son of the Tony Soprano actor, I forget his name, but he passed away, so rest in peace to him. His son is in this show, and then there's like this whole conversation where he has a conversation with her about like, if you are doing this, you need to stop, or else you're gonna get hurt, or something bad is gonna happen to you. Basically says fuck you and continues to do it. So I don't really see the point of it. And basically he's getting upset because he's getting mocked, which I think is an absolute joke. Fucking Fisk doesn't like being bullied, basically, which I don't know. So I don't know. I think that's really weird that they have that going on in this whole show. So I don't know. I don't really like it, and the more that I'm talking about it, and thinking about it, the more it's just fucking silly. Like that's why I don't like it. How stupid it is. I laugh at the stupidest shit. So that's the only reason I'm laughing at it. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. And throughout both of these episodes, and it's mostly in episode two, they kind of have this cool social commentary on today's time, which I don't know if it was intentional because I do know this was shot before any of all these incidents happened in Minneapolis or whatever. This has like a social commentary on like today's politics because like the AVTF guys or whatever, they kind of basically go around and try to round up any vigilantes that they find or any citizens that are like getting in the way of them pretty much anything like minorities or like whatever it seems. So this kind of has a cool social commentary on, well, ICE and Trump drama. So I'm not going to get into it here. I'm not here to talk about politics by any means, but I do like how this kind of has that cool social commentary to it. I That's what I got out of it. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I kind of liked how they kind of include that to where you kind of understand what they're going through, like with them arresting random civilians and them kind of rounding up vigilantes due to them being in the way of Fisk, pretty much, which is a whole thing going on in all of these episodes is about vigilantes and Fisk wanting them gone and round up and all that. So I really did like that social commentary to this. I did think that. That was a really cool thing that they added. Again, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I really liked it, and that's something I noticed. Again, I don't know if it's intentional by any means, but if it is, then they nailed it. And if not, if it was not intentional, then I think then that's a cool thing I noticed. I guess I don't know. Like I guess I knows politics when I don't want to talk about them ever. I fucking hate politics. But yeah, and this episode ends with a cool cliffhanger I would have been okay with if this was the only episode we got, and that was a cliffhanger of like at the end of this episode there's like where the AVTF guys basically find out where Matt and Karen are staying at or hiding out at, and they arrest this one girl. They arrest like the bartender lady who owns the building for basically helping them, and when you help vigilantes or a criminal you're gonna get arrested. And they arrest her, and then a whole awesome action sequence happens, which it's Daredevil that's going to happen. And a cool little fight sequence happens where Daredevil takes them out and then gets away with Karen. And then they find this guy, and then Karen basically rounded up this guy, says, like, well, they're hunting us. Why don't we hunt them? So she has, like, one of them tied up in a chair, and the hood on him, and then the episode ends. And I'm here to say this, like, if this was the only episode we got and that was the cliffhanger, that would have been a damn good cliffhanger. Like, I really would have been intrigued to see where it would have gone next week, but we instantly got the answer. So yeah, overall episode 2 I think might be my favorite so far of the 3 that we've gotten. It was a very enjoyable episode. It was definitely better than last week's. I was hooked from beginning to end. I couldn't stop watching, and like each episode's like 45 to 50 minutes. This literally only felt like it was 20 minutes. That's how much of enjoyment I got out of it. So yeah, episode excuse me, episode 2 out of the 3 that we've gotten so far, I really enjoyed it. So now let me move on to my thoughts on episode 3. And so moving on to episode 3 and now kind of continuing talking about that cliffhanger, we pick up right after that happens and we see that Karen and Matt have the guy tied up with the hood on him. They try to question him, and maybe it's kind of good that we got this episode because the payoff after the cliffhanger would have been worth it, because then we just basically find out that this guy wants to help Matt and Karen. They want to help he wants to help them get like the vigilantes free, all the civilians loose, because he basically doesn't want to work for Fisk anymore and all that. Karen thinks he's lying, but then Matt, he can hear people's heartbeats and can tell when they're lying. He's like, oh no, he's telling the truth. But then he basically kind of fucks with him a little bit, and he goes, if I find out you're lying, I'm gonna find you, and I'm not gonna be very happy. He doesn't admit to him that he knows that he's telling the truth. He wants him to think that he's lying, basically, and he wants to threaten him, which I just kind of thought it was silly. And so that I'm kind of glad that we got this episode after that cliffhanger, because if this was the payoff I got, I probably would have been a little pissed. I'm not gonna lie, but nevertheless. And so another thing that this season I feel is doing better than season 1, and especially in this episode I felt the action and the fight sequences are a lot better than they were in season 1. Now I know that the first season had the creative overhaul. The original stunt coordinator wasn't even involved at first, so There's probably a lot of fight scenes in that that were kind of just added last minute, but this one didn't have any creative overhaul and didn't have anything like that, so they had a lot more control freedom basically. And you can definitely tell by that just with the action alone, because the action in in these two episodes, and especially at the end of this of episode 3, was amazing. I really thought that whole fight sequence with Daredevil getting all of the vigilantes and all of the civilians out, like escaping. Now, I don't know by for a fact, but it definitely looked like it. That whole fight sequence with him and the swordsman, getting those people out, it looked like it was all done in one single take. And if it was, then typical Daredevil fashion, we're always going to get a one take fight sequence. And if that was it, then it was I thought that was good. I really liked it. Like I don't think it was one take. There might have been like a quick cut somewhere, but from what I can tell, that it was all one shot, and it was done very very well, especially with the fight sequence that they were going for. And including another vigilante in the fight sequence was really cool with the swordsman. That whole action sequence was great. And that whole ending of with them escaping and the shootout and all that the action in this episode alone is better than anything we got in the last season, if you ask me. But at the same time, there's a lot of good action sequences in season 1, so I won't talk too much shit on that. And speaking of the swordsman, this is like an episode that really focuses on him and his trial, which is something that was hinted at in the first episode with Matt's ex-girlfriend of season 1, who was attacked by Muse when she was questioning him and like kind of writing down his thoughts, getting him ready for trial, make sure he was like suitable for it, like in the right mindset basically. And we get a continuation of that, and his actual trial happens in this episode, and basically the justice system is corrupt, and they basically find him guilty. And I will say this, I don't know who the swordsman is. I've never seen this guy or heard about this guy before. I only know his actor from Better Call Saul. Now, if my knowledge serves me right, I believe he was in Hawkeye. I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure he was in Hawkeye. I'm pretty sure that's where he first made his appearance in this universe. So, I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's where he is. But this is my introduction to this is basically my introduction to this character, and I already like him. I want to see more of him. I want to try. Maybe I'll go and watch Hawkeye just to see this guy. But I do want to see more of him. I'm hoping we get to see more of him throughout the season. I really do hope so, because I really enjoy his character, mainly because I like his actor and his charm. So I really like that. And we also get this, and I forgot to talk about this episode too, but it's kind of continued here during that whole action sequence. We get it in the last season. We got a very small character with the white tiger character, where he wears that necklace and gives him his power. But he wasn't really in this season much because he was in trial and court or whatever for murder, when basically just defending himself, and then he gets killed by a guy wearing a Punisher vest. His niece. Is basically taking on that role. And I believe I talked about it in the last season, where in the comics, White Tiger does die, and then his niece takes the role where she wears the necklace, gains the powers, or whatever. And they are officially setting that up in this season, because at the end of the episode, we see her wearing the outfit, we see her wearing the necklace, we see her fighting against the soldiers and the military guys or whatever, and she like slashes their tires. I am interested to see where that is going to go. I'm not familiar with these characters, by any means. I don't really know much about them, so that's what makes me curious to see as to where that will go. I'm not really holding my breath on it. Maybe they won't really do anything with it in this season. I kind of hope they kind of save it for its own show, because I think it does deserve its own show, because that could be a better focus and a better like functioning storyline. But in like kind of just being there with Daredevil, I don't know if it'll quite work. But hell, I'm willing to see where it goes. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where that's going. I don't know how well it's going to fit into this season, though, because I was bummed when White Tiger died so early in the first season. That was one of the biggest things I had a gripe with. And now to see that they're finally probably going to continue it, I don't know if it's going to work. So I am willing to see where that's going to go. I am willing to see how well it might work, but as of right now, I don't know how to feel. And another thing I talked about in the last episode, in episode one is that the psychiatrist character who is Matt's ex-girlfriend from season one, it seems that she's going to be donning the character of Muse, and they kind of build that up a little bit. Excuse me, they kind of build it up a little bit more in this episode with her talking talking to the lawyer and another character where they were talking about like the trial of the swordsman getting prepped for it or whatever, and she was saying something like, "Oh, you don't know what it's like to be nearly killed by a vigilante," or something like that. And they're kind of building that up, and they're kind of building up how much that has damaged her mentally, which I'm sure it would if you almost get killed by fucking anybody, really. So they're kind of building that up a little bit more, and I can't really change my mind at all. I don't have anything new to say on it, other than I'm willing to see where it goes, and maybe it won't go anywhere. But as of right now, I'm still playing. I'm still waiting to see where that'll go. I'm still waiting to see what that'll do. And so, yeah, I don't know. But however, this episode's ending really did actually shock me because I did not see this coming. So early in one of the episodes, I can't remember if it was episode two or three, they basically see these guys working on the Northern Star, like the boat, the one that Titanic in episode one. And they're basically trying to get it up and working all over again. And after you know, Daredevil and Swordsman and Karen, they get everyone out, they save everyone. Excuse me. They save everyone, and then the one guy who's like the leader of this military thing that Fisk has going on, he's the real villain if we're being honest. He tells Fisk like, "Oh, they're gone all the way," and Fisk is like, "What about these guys?" And they're like, "They're still on the Northern Star," and he goes, "We can use that, so you know what to do." And my God, I didn't see this coming, but Fisk basically tells this guy to fucking kill them all, and he blows up the Northern Star. He blows up his own fucking boat that he's trying to save. That genuinely surprised me and shocked me because I didn't see that coming. I didn't think that's what they were doing. I didn't think that was the plan. I didn't really know what the plan was. Maybe I'm in the minority, like, oh my God, big shocker. But I don't know. And the episode just ends with him blowing up the boat and killing his own men. Like, it's Fisk, so it shouldn't surprise me that much because that's something he would fucking do. But the thing is, it's like this early. Like, this is episode three. Like, I just didn't expect that. So that was a really good cliffhanger. So I'm glad that this is how they left us hanging. But at the same time, fuck you for doing that. Should have been like Netflix and just dropped them all at once so I could binge it, so I could be done with it, so I could be talking about it in a full review and not having to do episode reviews. But whatever. But overall, I really enjoyed both of these episodes. I thought they were both great episodes of television and very good episodes of Daredevil. And so far, I think I can confidently say that so far this is better than season one, just from the first three episodes, because I am officially hooked. After the first episode, I was excited and intrigued, but after these two episodes, I'm officially hooked. I am very excited to see what the rest of the season has to offer. I am very excited to see what future episodes have in store for us. I cannot wait because I have been hooked on this show. I have been glued, my eyes have been glued to the screen while watching all of this show, and I could not be happier right now. So hopefully it goes out with a bang, and hopefully the next few episodes don't disappoint us. But let me know what you guys thought about these episodes down in the comments below. If you watch them, what are your thoughts on this show, on this season so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Are you hooked? Or are you still waiting for it to get interesting? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall talk about it. If you like this video, like it. If you love it, subscribe with the bell notifications so you will get notified for all of my latest videos. And of course, until my next video, see you all next time.